Tragedy on Longs Peak. Today we learned a 61-year-old Greeley man died after falling 150 feet.
We have a horrible fall on Longs Peak to tell you about. It happened yesterday.
Also got an update for you about a man who died while hiking near the Keyhole on Longs Peak in Rocky Mountain National Park.
Search teams in Rocky Mountain National Park removed the body of a hiker who died on Longs Peak.
And right now we are following breaking news. A rescue on a Colorado 14er wasn't tourists. 10 Green Berets from Fort Carson had to be airlifted. And we are following breaking news. A rescue
tonight. Exclusive video as a Canadian hiker arrives quite relieved via helicopter at the base of Longs Peak.
Kind of. Not really. It requires nuance. It requires a lot of nuance. The important distinction here is there's a big difference between dangerous and deadly. And Longs Peak really muddles the line, especially with the headlines in the news. If you're comparing this mountain to some of the other classics in Colorado, especially the alpine ones like Capitol Peak and like the Maroon Bells, for example, no, it's not the most dangerous, by far. But the reason that this mountain gets the title of the deadliest mountain in Colorado that everybody clickbaits, including me, is primarily because of three main factors. And those are the factors that we'll go over now. The first main factor is popularity. All right, we got the mountaineering boots on, the gaiters. About to head up to the keyhole. Looks like we do have some clouds moving in, so the turnaround might have to happen, unfortunately, but we will see. At least for now, conditions are fine, so time will tell. So number one, popularity. This is the only 14er in northern Colorado and probably the most popular 14er on the Front Range. It's the only 14er in Rocky Mountain National Park. It claims a lot of titles, but hopefully I don't need to spell out the glaring issue about its popularity, is that everybody gets to try it. The 1,000-car Congo line of Texas plates rolling into Rocky Mountain National Park with nothing but trekking poles, they get to try it too. I promise there's no hidden aggression in there. But obviously, when there's a lot of people that are inexperienced on a mountain, there's probably going to be some accidents, and that's just the case with Longs Peak. I wish I could ramble on about this topic, but there's not much to it. The more people that try something, the more people are probably going to get injured by that thing. Alright, we are coming up on the final approach to the keyhole. Took longer than expected, as it always does. It looks so much closer from the ground, but we're gonna get up there, peek over the ridge, see how weather's looking, and then we'll make the call there if we're gonna put in our summit bid or not, so we'll see. Up in the keyhole, nice rock formation, and I am not sure. These clouds look pretty ominous, especially further back. I think things could get dicey. I'm gonna take a quick snack and see how things start playing out. Wind's picking up too. Fuck yeah, we'll see. I have a few important pieces of info for the climb you're about to see. First of all, this was my second attempt at the keyhole. As you could see from some of the intro footage, my first attempt I was turned around due to the weather, but I have a good idea of the route here. But more importantly, I started this attempt at 9:30 a.m., which is about 6 hours late to the standard start time, so I was not even expecting a summit bid here. But as we'll discuss soon, on this attempt I've already broken several rules of Longs Peak. Be a story for whoever left bullet casings on the keyhole. Kind of a dick move. Jesus Christ. But yeah, we are now on the other side of the keyhole. I'm gonna give it a fair crack down, at least get to the trough unless weather turns. I can always get back to the hut
if I need protection. Hopefully I don't get shot. As you can see, we have these bullseyes that essentially mark the path for you, so you don't get lost. Winter can make it a lot more complicated because you don't have the bullseyes always. They can get covered by snow. So essentially that big gully right there is the trough, and that's the main big push in altitude. Yeah, a lot of the terrain here, while not inherently difficult, has these kind of no-fall areas where this fall isn't going to kill me, but if I'm sliding into rocks, you know, you hit your head, break an ankle. It's not an area that you want to fall in. In the summer it's a lot more straightforward, but anytime there's snow, it definitely complicates things. So
the second part to this triangle is the simple fact that in order for something to be deadly, it has to also be dangerous to some degree. Longspeak is not an exception to this rule, by any stretch. It could be as popular as you wanted it to, but unless there was genuine real exposure, there probably wouldn't be that many deaths. Or at least the sheer number that you see on Longspeak. Therefore, the second one is going to be exposure. There is no route to the summit of Longspeak that doesn't contain at least a little bit of exposure. The most popular route, which is the keyhole, requires at the very least class 3 scrambling, and it's very easy to get lost. If there's one thing that I've learned is that if you give people the opportunity to get lost, they will absolutely get lost. And due to the nature of the terrain on the other side of the keyhole, if you do get lost, it's very easy to get yourself in a position that's very hard to get out of, as well as to simply wander into some areas that are pretty sketchy. The two primary sections that pose the most risk are the narrows and the ledges. I'm sure using context clues you can figure out what the names of these areas imply, but simply put, they're very narrow walkways with very far drops on one side, and you have to do some scrambling to get past them. If you trip in the wrong spot, it could very well be fatal, and with mistakes that small having consequences that high, it makes sense that with the sheer number of volume that this mountain sees, there will be some deaths on it. The other aspect to exposure is that the weather can change incredibly fast, especially in the summertime. Those afternoon thunderstorms that Colorado is famous for roll in really quick, and because the hike is so long, it is very difficult to get below tree line fast enough. As you can see on this ascent, I misjudged weather and I almost got caught out in what could have been a very sketchy thunderstorm.
Here we're coming up on one of the more famous cruxes of the keyhole route. It's just kind of like a weird, narrow area. They put these steel rods in for you to have a foot and a hand up there, but you just gotta take your time with it. Yeah, decent amount of exposure down there though, for sure. Way up? Okay. Fuck you. got the crampons on, and we're now working our way up the trough. It was post holing pretty bad a little while back, but it seems to start consolidating, which is honestly nice because I really hate dry tooling on rock. So if I can follow the trough the whole way up on the snow side of things, it'll make my life much easier until we get to the narrows. So hopefully it stays good quality. Neat. Good rest too. It genuinely feels like I've been climbing the trough for about 5 hours, and it still seems so far to go, but I guess we've made decent progress. From what I've seen, this really seems like the burn part of the climb. After this it gets sketchy, but at least it's a little less in terms of the ultimate prolonged incline. We are finally exiting the trough here, coming up on the last little bit. That also means that we are coming up on the narrows, which is the sketchiest part of the climb, the most exposure, the most fall accidents happen here that do end up being fatal. So from now on out, we gotta turn on no fall mode, place our feet carefully. Yeah, should be fun though. As much as I hate dry tooling through here, I have a feeling I'm gonna want to keep my crampons on for the narrows from the stuff I've seen. And yeah, the narrows looks pretty exposed over there. But it looks like I will maybe get my window, knock on wood. Well, I found which side of the mountain it's going on. It is this side. This side indeed. At least the ice isn't too bad. No sketchy moves so far. Can't think of many less appealing sounds than crampon on a rock. This right here is another crux, maybe the hardest, because you have to risk some exposure if you go down here, but if you go up here it's kind of blocked. I think I'm gonna go for the longer way, just because my pack today is fairly large. Don't want to hit that, but again, not bad at all. One pretty underrated gear item that I think makes a very big difference in Longspeak winter sense are gaiters, because on my last attempt I didn't have these gaiters and I was catching shoelaces, stabbing pants, and when you have this level exposure on one side of you, the last thing you want to do is snag a shoelace on a crampon. I lied. It looks like we're coming up on the real crux here. This is the one take some fancy footwork. You just gotta take your time. Do have some good handholds on your left, which is kind of mainly what you gotta work with. Crampons don't make it super easy, but it's not horrible. Man. What a beautiful view. And our first view of the home stretch. And a marmot right there. Hey man, how's it going? Incredibly close. I'm getting so tired. The altitude is hitting me pretty hard right now. I am definitely slowing down. Those clouds look a little more worrying to me, so I gotta get up and get down pretty soon here. Final push up these last few rocks. That part wasn't quite as long as the trough, but it felt pretty equally brutal. Oh my God. I can't believe it. And it is somehow completely windless up here. I don't know if I've ever seen that in my life. There's no wind on the summit of Longs Peak. Summit of Longs Peak and a marmot to enjoy the view with me. Wow, you know, I'm tired right now. I can't really fully appreciate everything I see, but man, is it beautiful. And man, do I feel like I earned it. I think my time on the summit boulder's coming to a close. I don't want to spend too much time up on here because it is pretty late. But with that being said, I would like to see if I can snag a view of Chasm Lake from the top. This is where you can start to get a view of the inside of Longs. You got Chasm Lake down there. Mount Meeker, 13,900 something feet. Pretty sick view. I'm sure the camera doesn't do it justice, but yeah, wow. Post up, about to eat, drink some water. Luckily the game plan is gonna be to try and glissade the trough, if that's possible. I'm not sure it's gonna be. But I like to get down pretty fast. I have some pretty frozen fingers. And I've been surrounded by clouds the whole day, so I don't want to really push my luck out here. But at least for now, not a lot of wind, sun on my back. You can't ask for much more. It's a pretty damn good lunch view. I might add. Alrighty, quick update. I am now this far down the trough, like 20 minutes later, because I've just been doing some bullshit. One might call it glycating. I think if I called it glycating, I would be lying to myself. Basically, like I'm permanently self-arresting just the whole way down. It's really stupid and probably pretty dangerous, and I definitely don't recommend it. But these clouds look sketchy, and I want to get the fuck out of here. I was getting some crazy speed earlier. Now the terrain's a little less steep, snow's a little softer, so it's a little more chill. Self-arrester? I hardly even know her. I gotta get up this fucking mountain, dude. Don't hurt me, Rock. Please. Part of me hopes that I somehow end up dying doing this so that the first responders can recover my camera and just, you know, what is this guy doing? This is mountaineering at its finest. Yeah, weather's starting to look a little bleak. Not ideal. And we are approaching the keyhole once again. It is so good to be off snow. Or good. All the casings are still here. Never thought I would be so happy to see a pile of rocks in the formation behind. They did not steal my trekking poles, which is good news. Hello?
Hello?
How are you calling me right now?
I don't know. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm great.
Number 2 is kind of a conglomerate of a bunch of different reasons, you know, weather, route finding, exposure, all that. So to finish off with number 3, it's a little more abstract, but I do think it holds very true about this mountain, is the namesake, the allure, and the risk management. Now, what I mean by that is the mountain is very alluring. It has great views, but it's almost like a siren. There's a lot of different areas that really call you in to go check out. There's the chasm view section by the boulder field where you go stand on a boulder that is literally a 2,000-foot drop straight down, but you're doing it for a pretty view. And what I mean by the risk management side of things is that when you're on this mountain, it's very difficult to tell when you're in too deep. And I believe that is what gets people the most. I probably underestimate the average person's physical ability, but their mental ability to understand when they need to turn around, that's probably what gets the most people on this mountain.
We are back down to the boulder field. Looking back up, it really hits different after you actually summit. Last time it was still pretty, but didn't mean as much to see it down from here. But yeah, those clouds are worrying though, so I gotta get out of here. It may be a trail run back to the car. So got rained on a little bit, but nothing too bad. Clouds look pretty good. I don't think I'm gonna die or anything. Don't get struck by lightning. That's impossible. That could never happen to me. Yeah, I'm gonna finish the rest of this out. I'll be back when I get to the car. It's probably gonna be dark. It stopped raining. Also, I am back at Chasm Lake, so should be good from here. About to cross below tree line. 3.5 miles left. We'll see how quick I can do it. Made it back to the car. I'm not gonna survive this drive home.
Dude, this moth is going crazy. Now, while this video does have a pretty lighthearted feel, someone did actually die on Kienersroute just a few days ago. So it's almost a PSA. I know I'm not the person to spread the message, considering I did the dumb things on longs as well. But at the very least, I can kind of serve as a billboard for what not to do on the mountain. It may not be the most dangerous, but it is a dangerous mountain. There are obvious risks, so just use your best judgment. I would never advocate for anyone not to go to the mountain, not to check it out, not to try and hike, but there are safe ways to do it. There are safer and less safe. It's a spectrum, but use common sense, use your best judgment, and have a good time. Don't start on Kienersroute, for God's sakes. My camera died, but I actually really want to send this project, so I'm gonna, I got the headlamp on. I know that we're losing track of the video here. This isn't related anymore, but this is like a V2. I gotta get this thing. Thing's so stupid. Hit the Gaston. Why are we making horrible Gastons a V2? This is stupid. I hate outdoor bouldering. It's horrible. No, I had it. Yeah, I'm throwing in the towel on this thing. It beat me up, and I don't know. Just made a video about being safe. I'm gonna stop climbing at night. Anyways, thank you for watching this PSA, I guess. I have some footage of my Mount Rainier climb that I'm putting together right now, so that should be out in a little bit. If you want to see footage of the tallest volcano in the lower 48, stay tuned. Should be posted pretty soon. So, see ya. Thanks for watching.